We're looking at the Lamborghini Countach by Mould King. This is set number 10045 with 1,495 pieces. In this video, we're going to do a 360. I'll tell you my thoughts on the shaping, some of the features, movable parts, and the overall build experience. And we'll zoom in. We'll take a better look at the interior and some of the panels that open up. But let's start with the 360. This is a pretty faithful recreation of the Countach. Not bad at all. And the back has very complex shaping for the lights. They did a fairly good job there. And the wing, not bad. This cutout here, this iconic triangular cutout, they did an okay job getting that in there. And then there is this intentional additional crease there that I'm not 100% sure if it's on the original car. The front, it's not bad as well. In the product photos, because it's a computer render, the bricks and the separation in the bricks is a lot more prominent. But once you've built it, that sort of fades away and you don't really, it doesn't really draw your eye as much. So I do think the front is quite successful. As far as the stance on the wheels and the fenders, I do like these oversized fenders in the back. I do like that they tried to do a fender here. The wheels are a little bit on the tuck side, but that does feel a little bit realistic for the era. And if it bugs you a lot, you can always push those wheels out a little bit further, and then you'll have something that's a little more flush, if that matters. As far as things that move or that can come off, I think they might have made this intentionally easy to remove so that you could turn this into a, I don't know what you'd call that. Is that a T-top? And then the back here, the engine compartment, you can open that up to reveal the engine in there. We'll take a closer look too at that. And then as far as the wing goes, you can open up that compartment that's intentionally hinged and gives you a view in the interior there as well. All right, and then before we continue, I did want to show you the sticker sheet. I did have a separate review video of the unboxing, and I decided not to use most of the stickers. And the only sticker I did use was the license plate, which is on there, because the rest of it is a livery that is not that great. It actually doesn't do the car justice. It actually, I feel like these particular stickers distract from the beauty of the car. If you look at just the vehicle without all of the livery, I mean, it's a way more stunning vehicle. So I think this is a case where less is more. So that's why I left off those stickers. All right, let's take a closer look. All right, so zooming in, we get a better look at the lines and the fenders, these really wide fenders that we've got here. You can see just how much these wheels are kind of tucked in at this angle a little bit better. And you can see also how they created that triangular notch that's kind of iconic for the car. Now this car does have this kind of a split right here. And I went back and looked at photos of the car, and that the car doesn't have really something like that. There is a body line there though, so I think it's fine from most angles. It just looks like a body line. It doesn't look like a gap. And the doors also open up butterfly style, so they go straight up using that little hinge right there, and that reveals the interior. The interior is really nice. It's this red color, and they did add a little bit of hinge or posability for the seats. And then notice they use those, I think they're called Palisade bricks, in order to give the seats a bit of like texture, or almost they look like a cushion to them. And then that red theme continues with the rest of that interior, as you can see there. And there's that gear knob right in the center there too. And then coming around, we can see here that there's these side view mirrors, one really large wiper. The wiper's posable, it's not really movable that much, and there's only so much you can move it, but it's cool that they added it. That's a nice feature that Makes it look a little more realistic when it has things that the real car would have. Since we're here, let's look at the windshield. So this is something that I was a little concerned about when I saw the box and I unboxed it. I wasn't sure how successful the windshield would be, because what they've done here is they're using a very rectangular piece right here only that's from Lego's Mini Cooper. And they chose not to use a large piece of glass that would have covered a lot more of it, and that would have been a custom piece. And instead, they've just used this rectangular piece. There's big gaps here and here, and then they've used black to kind of fill in the rest. And you know what? It actually is fairly successful. At a glance, you're not looking at it. Your eye's not drawn to the shape of the windscreen. Instead, you're looking at the rest of the car. You're looking at, these dynamic shapes. And so it's forgivable. You can definitely overlook it, and it's probably fine. And I don't know what I would have done differently, honestly, to make that shape. I think that shape is perfectly fine, the way that they ended up doing it. It is a little strange that there's this very strange sideways tile here, but again, it works to give it this really thin profile for the windscreen area. So not bad. I think it looks a lot better in person than it did originally in the photos. And then up front for the bumper area, I do like the way that they did this shaping here. The headlights, I think there are fog lamps on this car. There's supposed to be indicators, like amber indicators here, I think, as well, but they didn't include it. And the sticker sheet did not include anything to be like a Lamborghini emblem, would have been right there. Same with the back, there are no emblems that come on the back. As far as the wheel designs, these are just standard stock from Lego's catalog. And I think they're okay. They work all right here. And as far as front to back, they intentionally have you have the back wheels. They actually sit out a lot more. So they're I guess you can consider that staggered. And then the fronts are actually in a little bit more. But the tires and the wheels are actually identical front to back. So what that does is gives you the illusion that the back wheels are fatter, when in reality they're all the same, front to back. And then on the back here, since we're here, I really love this swooping line. This is really well done. And then, of course, the like air intake uh, on both sides, really well done. They put that at a nice angle as well. And since we're here, we can get a better look maybe at the driver's area. So there's some dials, there's the wheel, pretty good job there. It's not, is it connected? No, it's not connected. Oh, wait, it is connected. I totally forgot. So it does have a little bit of control over the front tires. So you can steer it ever so slightly. And again, I do love the way that they did this interior. It does feel like a luxury car, a luxury sports car interior. And I love that the seat has a little bit of posability. They didn't have to do that, but they did. They also give you a little bit of detail for the door cards and the interior of the doors. So there you go. You can see that there's just a little bit of detail for how you can open up that door. So that's kind of cool. And then as we're in the back here, we can open up the engine bay and take a closer look there. I can tilt the model. There's quite a bit of detail. I think they did a nice job making it feel like there is, um, a really good motor in there, or a motor in there. And then the wing section opens up, and there is a little bit of detail inside there as well. I Googled what is back in here and whether the real one actually opens up. And it said that yes, it does open up, and it actually serves as a like its luggage compartment is really what this is. So it might be one of your only luggage compartments. I'm not sure what happens up in the front, if the bonnet opens up or not, but this is considered a storage area. And yeah, so that's how they handled it there. And then you can see there are no emblems along the back. And again, a better look at the shaping for the lights. Really well done there. And they have a New York license plate, a couple of exhausts, and I like the shaping, how they've tucked this underneath. So there's this inverted slope right there that tucks it in. And they've done that too on the sides. If you notice, this is a inverted curve as well. So it's got that nice curved shaping underneath there. And then up in front, let's take it off the Lazy Susan. Up in front, you can see it's a really sharp angle here, some complex complex lines that are happening there. And let's look at the underside too, since we're here. So there's the underside, mostly Technic construction there, a Technic frame. It's pretty solid. Let's get that all the way up. Pretty solid, and they do a good job of including reference colors along the way so that you don't lose your place, so you can keep track of where you are if you're looking at the front of the vehicle versus the back of the vehicle as you're building. So I think that's a good use of color there. And it was strange when I was first unboxing it because the bags just had so many colors in them, and this explains why. Helps you kind of get your bearings as you're building it. All right, and then what else can we do? We can open this back up again, and that's a better look at the interior with the top removed. So there you go. Not bad. So as far as my thoughts on the model, I think Mould King did a pretty good job here. And they really did not need to use these stickers. The model itself works great without all these stickers. They just didn't need them. And I only used like the meters for the interior as well as that license plate, and it was fine. As far as building it, there were a couple of frustrations. I did find some errors inside the manual, or sorry, the instructions, where they had just maybe copied and pasted some areas, and that was a little bit frustrating to have to figure that out. And then there are these like leftover pieces, so they did have some extra pieces rather than trying to just give you exactly the right number of pieces. I appreciate having the extras, by the way. And then there are these mysterious pieces that needed assembly. So I had a bunch like this. So this actually needs to be put in there and then clipped together. So it could be that, yeah, they're just trying to avoid maybe trademarked or patented pieces. And so that's what's going on there. And then there's this is the 1x2 curve, and then there's a 2x2 that also needs to be assembled, and you have to actually insert the entire anti-stud section that makes it click in. And on one of them, on one of those 2x2s, it actually was deformed. So I had to get out a knife, I had to get out a screwdriver and all kinds of stuff to like reshape it. That was not fun, to have to basically fix the part. So I do think as far as the quality goes, it could have been better for the parts themselves. The design, though, is really nice. This is a very stunning model. It's got that really low slung look to it. It's going to look great on a shelf. And the colors, this red interior with the white, it's just superb. It's just a great color combination. So all right, that is my look. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked the video, please hit like. If you could subscribe, that's awesome. It helps me out a lot, helps me keep finding interesting models and showing them to you guys, sharing them with you. Okay, thanks so much.